It is my privilege and honor to welcome you to the Excellence in Mentoring Awards. You may know that we've typically held this event on the eve of the summit after a great Capitol Hill day at the Library of Congress. Last year, it was virtual and still remained a special evening of celebration. This year, in the spirit of continuous adjustment and reinvention, we chose to make the awards a part of the 2 days of summit content. We wanted the widest possible audience of champions, leaders, and dedicated members of the mentoring movement to receive the inspiration provided by the examples of our nominees and honorees. We come to you after our first full day bracketed by 2 powerful and packed general sessions focused on education and mental health, respectively. We've been elevated by our affiliate leaders, experts, partners, governmental leaders, and young people. And we've begun to delve into the meat of the summit, the more than 60 workshops from your peers. We've got an all-time high 26 supporting partners, great exhibitors who seek to provide great resources for your organizations, and there's more than 2,000 of you participating. I get to thank our sponsors who make all of this possible and believe in the power of the movement, joining forces to connect, learn, elevate, and innovate. And one final thank you to my fellow board members and the mentor staff. These are the most amazing, committed, dedicated people I've ever had the pleasure to work with. I'm proud to stand with you all in service and leadership to this great field and movement, and in pursuit of ensuring that all young people have the relationships needed to strive and thrive. It's a promise as important as ever, and it takes all of us and the best we've got. And I know that these are trying times that require a baton passing, so we also keep working to add to our ranks. We're coming off a year of record-breaking levels of training provided and new products to help people and organizations show at their best for young people and adapt to the times and their journeys. We also intensified our work around youth voice and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and so appreciate the joint leadership of our affiliates in this work, half of which are led by people of color. Together, we successfully advocated for increases in local and national public funding for mentoring. We expanded our footprint with the launch of an affiliate in Georgia and expanded work in helping employers and education leaders designed to prioritize relationships as core to their mission and drivers of equity. And on a final note, we expanded work to amplify the message of mentoring and call folks to the movement. From the Ready, Set campaign to this year's National Mentoring Month anthem video, which I want to share with you now.
Smiles should be contagious. Experiences shared. Connections meaningful. This is how progress starts. We all need doors opened, shoulders to stand on, and high fives along the way. We're never too old to play. Minds and hearts should be full. Successes celebrated. Passions sparked. Dreams achieved. There is no such thing as other people's children. Young people aren't just the future. We are the present. We are all on this journey together. It's not just what you know, it's who you know. Who stood by you? And who will you stand by? Mentoring amplifies.
All of our progress has been possible because of our supporters and partners who invest time and money in this movement, represented by so many of you here today, supporting young people in our communities. As proud board chair, I would just remind you that if you'd like to invest in mentors' efforts to serve the field, you can scan the code you see on your screen or click the link in the chat. I spoke about a lot of our milestones, and I just want to stress that nothing is achieved alone. So many partners, way too many to name, stand behind and with us in these achievements. At Mentor, we work both locally and nationally through the leadership of our affiliates across sectors and to the general public, all in the name of simply making good on a covenant to our young people that no matter their journey, they have people alongside them for the twists and turns. We're inspired by all of you and every single person and partner. And with that, we turn to recognizing some heroes of the movement with the annual Excellence in Mentoring Awards. While the pandemic has led to a shortage of some things this past year, there was absolutely no shortage of inspiring nominations and people in the mentoring movement. And we want to offer special recognition to our extraordinary finalists in each of the Excellence in Mentoring categories. The finalists in Lifetime Achievement given to an individual who has dedicated their life's work to support youth through mentoring are Mercedes Cintron from Puerto Rico Youth at Risk, Robin McHalen from True Colors, and Nicole Steele from Diamond in the Rough Youth Development Program. Mercedes, Robin, and Nicole have each exhibited a lifelong commitment and impact in supporting youth with opportunity, connections, and hope. They have advocated for our most vulnerable young people whose voices have so often gone unheard, impacting countless youth by giving them a sense of agency, tools that empower, and the belief that change is possible. For 3 decades, Mercedes Cintron has stood up for the most vulnerable young people in Puerto Rico, contributing to the development of crime prevention, reentry programs, and legislation on restorative justice and rehabilitation. Robin McHalen has been a national leader and trailblazing advocate for LGBTQ+ youth for 30 years and has been instrumental in creating models for curricula, policies, and programs across the country to ensure LGBTQ+ youth feel safe, valued, and able to be their authentic selves. And Nicole Steele, founder of Diamond in the Rough, an award-winning leadership program for girls in Georgia, has dedicated her life to providing community mentoring for young women, beginning with the creation of Sister to Sister, a program serving girls at the Eastside Carver Boys and Girls Club. In impactful philanthropy, which highlights a foundation, company, or individual philanthropist who has invested time and funds into mentoring initiatives across the nation and in their own communities. The finalists are Andrea Elder Howell, Board Secretary of Mentor New York, Thomas F. Gilbane Jr., Board Member of the ACE Mentor Program, and Teddy Kapoor, Board Chair of Imagine LA. As a member of Mentor New York Board, Andrea Elder Howell has secured significant sponsorships for the affiliate, helping them scale mentoring throughout the state to reach over 80,000 young people and touch over 850 organizations. Her philanthropic efforts have allowed Mentor New York to recognize outstanding mentors and their contributions through Mentor of the Year awards, inspiring others to become mentors. Tom Gilbane is a tireless advocate for the ACE Mentor Program of America, which stands for Architecture, Construction, and Engineering, and combines mentoring with workforce exposure and development. Tom brings his lifelong experience as CEO of his family's global construction company to this 25-year-old organization operating in 38 states and offering 10,000 high schoolers annually pathways into the industry. His philanthropic and board leadership have led to many ACE achievements, including awarding more than $25 million in scholarships to young people. And Teddy Kapoor, Board Chair of Imagine LA since 2018, works to end family homelessness, leveraging the power of mentoring, community, and being guided by the perspective of families experiencing housing instability. During Mr. Kapoor's tenure, the organization has grown its program by nearly 500% through geographic expansion and new family referral sources, including proving permanent supportive housing. Through his advocacy, Imagine LA has evolved its core program to better meet the needs of families and youth emerging from homelessness and to center on their voices and the need for community and wraparound support. Finalists for the Public Elevation Award, which is given to an individual or organization who uses their influence and platform to encourage, support, and draw awareness to mentoring are Jay Flores from Invent the Change and Wafa Saeed from the Sudanese American Public Affairs Association. As a global STEM ambassador and founder of Invent the Change, Jay Flores is an influential voice in STEM, reaching millions of students each year as a member of Discovery Education's Mystery Science team. He spreads the word of the importance of STEM through energizing presentations and outreach to schools, community groups, and industry experts, connecting STEM to everyday life and motivating students to become tomorrow's innovators. Wafa Saeed, after coming to the US from Sudan at the age of 6, went on to achieve 3 undergraduate degrees and is now finishing her master's. Wafa is a strong community leader, mentor, advocate, and entrepreneur. She became the first national CEO and executive director for the Sudanese American Public Affairs Association, beginning the first successful chapter in Colorado and developing programs that have been used nationally, including the prominent Youth Leadership Program that mentors high school and college students. She has spearheaded the goal of advancing the Sudanese American community and empowering its young people. I'd like to thank all of our finalists for their deep commitment and leadership to our young people. It is such a privilege to recognize you. And now we turn to our 2022 award presentation.
The first award is for impactful philanthropy, given to a funder who has made critical investments in mentoring initiatives. This year's award winner is Stacy Ulrich, Head of Global Community Impact at Under Armour and Executive Director of the Under Armour Foundation. Stacy is a key figure in the mentoring movement in Baltimore and truly understands what it means to support community mentoring from the roots up. Stacy's philanthropic efforts in Baltimore are vast. She serves on the board of the Association of Baltimore Area Grantmakers, St. Agnes Foundation, Business Volunteers Maryland, Ronald McDonald House Charities of Baltimore Incorporated, and the Art with a Heart. From supporting Mentor Maryland, D.C. since its inception, to supporting mentoring at a number of high schools and grassroots programs throughout Baltimore City, she has made mentoring a cornerstone of her personal and professional life. At Under Armour, Stacy has turned mentorship into a priority focus where millions of dollars are invested each year. Most recently, she supported mentor recruitment at Under Armour's headquarters with a newly launched mentoring initiative for 9th grade students at several Baltimore high schools. She also advocates for internal mentoring initiatives at Under Armour that encourage and engage young professionals. And as an active speaker on funder panels and roundtables in the region, Stacy continues to push the mentoring movement forward, shining a light on the ongoing and urgent need to find grassroots and community-based mentoring programs throughout the city. Congratulations, Stacy. We are thrilled to recognize your contributions with this award.
Thank you to the entire Mentor team for this honor. I am extremely grateful. I didn't start this journey to be recognized. I became a mentor and champion because I benefited from being a mentee. Like almost all relationships, it took time, it took work, and it took a commitment. But that time, that work, and that commitment had a profound impact on me, and it changed me. And while I'm still a mentee, at some point I realized I could also be a mentor, and that I had the opportunity to support someone else's journey, celebrate their successes, hold them and be there for when they failed, and most of all, continue to cheer them on, either as they discovered what was next or needed a reminder of their value. In the words of Maya Angelou, I have learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. For mentees and mentors, formal or informal, never forget whatever role you are playing, they both have worth and value. And the person on the receiving end will never forget how you made them feel. And I close with this. If you haven't yet had the opportunity and privilege to call yourself a mentor On behalf of every recipient today, I encourage you to consider joining us. It will be a choice that has a profound impact not only on you, but someone else. Thank you again. Wishing everybody a safe and healthy day.
The next award is for public elevation, given to an influencer who uses their platform to elevate and advocate for mentoring. This year's award goes to Jamal Stroud, founder of Big Homie Lil Homie Mentoring, a mentoring program for young boys growing up without father figures. Jamal personifies giving back. His personal experience growing up in the foster care system and living in 6 different homes by the time he was 6 years old led him to the front line of improving and advocating for young people in the foster care system. As someone who knows firsthand and who has courageously discussed and reflected on the experience of instability and loneliness as a young person, he has now reached more than 10,000 young people and has garnered local and national recognition for the positive male role models he's provided for South Carolina's youth. In launching Big Homie Lil Homie, Jamal transformed his own challenges growing up into action. What started with Jamal as the sole mentor has grown into 50 mentors, serving more than 500 kids in the Columbia, South Carolina area. On a national level, Jamal is the mentor and outreach manager for Camp Hope America, where he provides training and consulting to 40 different programs throughout the nation. Jamal consistently uses his voice and platform to share his story in hopes of influencing others to mentor and support young people in their community. He has been featured on The Ellen Show, on many local TV and radio shows, and has received numerous awards, including the prestigious Jefferson Award, given to extraordinary public servants. Jamal, we thank you for your relentless commitment to elevating the power of mentoring. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mentor, for this award. I appreciate it. This is a great honor, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity because it's amazing. Thank you for putting a spotlight on me. This is amazing. Connection is key. Mentoring is key as well. I believe they play hand in hand. It's just like you're planting a flower. The mentor is going to be that water and the mentee is going to be that soil. But the great thing about that is, we have to really trust the process. And I understand that mentoring is not about perfection, it's about progress. So when the mentor is pouring in the water, pouring in the knowledge, pouring in the time, just the commitment with that child, we may not see the results right then and there overnight. It takes a little time for them to grow, to digest the knowledge, digest the information as well too. And therefore the roots to start to grow, and then therefore a lovely flower can sprout. It could be tomorrow, it could be next year, it could be 10 years. But as a mentor, we have to really understand the importance of the relationships and also the importance of that mentoring is a process and it's not about perfection. Mentoring is an ongoing process, ongoing process. And it's just a simple fact that I'm able to kind of give back and just see those kids and kind of just see the light on their face when they, see me in their presence is really amazing. And that's just a feeling that money can't buy. So those are just some things that I just sit back and say, hey, man, I'm making a great change in this world. It may not happen overnight, like I stated before, but just a simple fact that they know Jamal's going to be there. Jamal is going to show up, being consistent. That's really, plays a really great part on my heart because like I said, I know how it is not to have that role model or not to have that positive figure when you actually need it. So it's just really amazing that I can, flip the script and be on that positive side and help those kids. And they're helping me as well too, to become a better person, helping me to reach my dreams because they're watching me as well. So I can't let them down. So it's like, oh boy, I got to really do this. I got to see my way through it. So it's just really amazing. I use them as a motivation so I can have, the best time as well. This is amazing. We still have a lot of work to do, but the road is not done. Thank you.
The next award is for corporate youth leadership and is presented to a young person who has demonstrated tremendous leadership potential in a corporate mentoring program. This year's award goes to Sana Giovanni. At the age of just 24, Sana has displayed countless examples of personal courage and steadfast advocacy for mentoring, which can perhaps be best described in her own words: turn adversity into the opportunity to serve others. What Sana has accomplished for others in her young life is nothing short of outstanding. A dual degree from the University of Pennsylvania, she's currently the Community Engagement Manager at Generation Hope, focusing on building community partnerships, recruiting mentors, and promoting college access, support, and success for student parents. Her leadership in corporate mentoring began in high school, where she was selected as one of 30 young people around the nation to be part of the State Farm Youth Advisory Board. Through this opportunity, she worked with young people to allocate $5 million of State Farm's philanthropy budget to organizations around the nation. She was then selected as the United States delegate for Girls 20, the only platform for young women to influence decisions of the G20, and has recently been involved with a corporate mentoring initiative at Bain & Company, where she brought virtual mental health and anti-bullying assemblies to students during the COVID-19 pandemic. But her story as the founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization called the Love Your Natural Self Foundation, and its impact on young people around the world, stands out as an inspiration and catalyst for the incredible ripple effect of good work. She started the organization after losing all of her hair to alopecia in the 7th grade and struggling with bullying and low self-worth. Now, the Love Your Natural Self Foundation hosts projects in 150 schools in 28 countries worldwide, including the International Day of Self-Love. She has reached over 50,000 students through speaking engagements, sharing her powerful personal story as inspiration for others. Congratulations, Sana. We're so happy to recognize you and your amazing achievements with this award.
Thank you so much for this award. I'm so honored to receive this wonderful opportunity. I had a very unconventional middle school and high school experience. At 12 years old, I lost all of my hair overnight. I remember sitting in bed wondering if I would ever feel beautiful again. I didn't know if I could look in the mirror or go to school or ever even get through that moment. After a long time and a lot of adversity, such as bullying, getting mean notes in my locker, gum in my wig, thankfully, I found the courage to accept myself. I finally felt beautiful, and I decided that I wanted to go without my wig and share who I really was with the world. And I realized that when you have the courage to be who you are, you unknowingly inspire other people to do the same. So by 15 years old, I was a CEO of my own nonprofit organization. I was traveling around the country giving assemblies, sharing my story, and meeting partners. But one of the biggest challenges that I faced was that it was hard to find people who took me seriously. From a young age, I was grateful for corporate youth mentoring initiatives that not only believed in the power of my story, but tangibly invested in me. One of those opportunities was the State Farm Youth Advisory Board. I was given the opportunity to allocate $5 million of State Farm's philanthropy budget to organizations around the nation and the mentors to help guide me in doing this. This is just one of the many examples of organizations that invested in me and made a tangible investment in the lives of young people. When life and the world made me feel like I no longer had a voice or like my voice didn't matter, my mentors reminded me of the power of my voice. I believe that effective mentoring programs make a tangible investment in young people and believe in them. So take the young people in your life seriously, listen to their voice, listen to the ideas. I remember at 15 years old, I wanted to create an International Day of Self-Love on my campus, and now I'm happy to say that that same initiative is celebrated on 150 campuses, reaching 50,000 students a year. So thank you for all that you do to make these things happen. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I will continue to use my voice as an advocate for others. Thank you.
The next award is for public service, given to a local or state elected official who has dedicated their knowledge, time, and platform to supporting mentoring and encouraging adults to become mentors. At the state level, this year's Public Service Award goes to Governor Ned Lamont of Connecticut. Governor Lamont has been a steadfast advocate of mentoring in his state for decades, leading a life of public service that gives voice, power, and education to youth in his community. Governor Lamont got involved in public service shortly after college, founding a weekly newspaper in a town hit by the loss of its largest employer. Then, as a volunteer teacher, he sought to give back to his community by volunteering at Harding High School in Bridgeport. In an effort to spark entrepreneurship, the governor taught students about the inner workings of small businesses, bringing in local business people to share their own experiences, and helping to place students in local internships. As governor of Connecticut, he uses his platform to raise awareness and recruit adults to sign up as volunteer mentors. During COVID-19, he has added mentoring as a volunteer opportunity to the State Up CT portal, connecting almost 200 more mentors to young people during this time of crisis. Additionally, he serves as the co-chair of the board of the Governor's Prevention Partnership, Mentors affiliate in Connecticut, and is an active participant in events elevating mentoring across the state. Governor Lamont's dedication to advancing opportunities, happiness, and safety for young people has been the cornerstone of his career, and we are thrilled to recognize him with this honor.
Many thanks for the 2022 Excellence in Mentoring Award. And more importantly, thank you for having an Excellence in Mentoring Award. It is so incredibly important now more than ever. 2 years into COVID, isolation, quarantine, a lot of young people feeling a little bit lost right now. Nothing more important than a shoulder you can lean upon, somebody you can talk to confidentially, a trusted friend who can give you advice. That's all what a mentor is all about. That's what you're all about. That's what our Governor's Prevention Partnership is all about, trying to avoid people leaning towards drugs and other places. A good friend, a mentor is what that means. Hey, Mary Gay Scanlon, congratulations as my fellow awardee. What we're trying to do at the state level, you're doing at the federal level. Let's all do this together.
The next award is for public service, given to a federal public servant who has shaped or advanced youth mentoring policy, programs, and campaigns. This year's Federal Public Service Award goes to Representative Mary Gay Scanlon from Pennsylvania's 5th Congressional District, just west of Philadelphia. Representative Scanlon is a true champion for mentoring on Capitol Hill and is a lifelong advocate for children and families. She has dedicated her career to serving the most vulnerable, first as a lawyer and now in Congress. Representative Scanlon's advocacy journey began while she was a law student at the University of Pennsylvania, where she began volunteering at People's Emergency Center, a homeless shelter for families. Upon graduating, she began representing abused and neglected children with the Support Center for Child Advocates, and has since served as a board member for numerous legal services agencies. Later, as a senior staff attorney at the Education Law Center of Pennsylvania, Representative Scanlon led class action lawsuits to enforce the rights of students with disabilities, in addition to representing individual students and their parents from across the state. In 2006, she created a career development and mentoring program at Constitution High School, a magnet school in Philadelphia with a focus on civics education. Students from Constitution High attended her swearing-in ceremony. As Congresswoman, Representative Scanlon's legislative priorities include voting rights, access to justice, education, supporting economic growth for her region, common sense gun safety, and ending hunger. She is a mentor herself and serves as the chair of the Congressional Youth Mentoring Caucus, which works to advocate support for the mentoring movement on Capitol Hill through events, networking, and legislative action. Representative Scanlon, it is a privilege to extend this honor to such a well-deserving public servant and a true partner in elevating, expanding, and advancing the mentoring movement.
Hello, everyone. I'm so grateful to be amongst so many incredible mentors and advocates, and I'm honored to be chosen for this award. Mentoring is one of the greatest gifts we can give our next generation. It's a vital factor in positive youth development, academic success, extracurricular engagement, and connections to new opportunities. But there are too many young people making choices and decisions every day without the support of a trusted adult. That's why I've been so honored to chair the Congressional Youth Mentoring Caucus and to be able to make it a priority in Congress to bring additional resources to our nation's mentoring programs and young people. Mentoring is something that's been near and dear to my heart for decades. Before coming to Congress, I had the privilege of establishing a career development mentoring program at Constitution High School in Philadelphia, where I saw firsthand how mentoring improved outcomes for students, whether academically or professionally, or in other areas of their lives like self-esteem and interpersonal relationships. The Philadelphia-based law firm where I managed our pro bono practice at the time had a history of engaging with schools throughout the area. So when a public high school with a focus on law and civics was established just blocks from our main office, I saw the opportunity to consolidate and maximize our efforts with a mentoring program at a school that is closely aligned with the firm's civic and diversity goals. I worked with school officials and the National Constitution Center to develop mentoring and career development activities ranging from service projects to job shadowing, a mock trial competition, and summer internships. Students who went through that program were often the first in their families to attend college, and in recent years, they've gone on to law school and other graduate education. To this day, I still hear regularly from students who participated in the program when I did. A common theme I hear is that not only did mentorship impact their ability to chart their next career steps, but it also helped them having trusted adult mentors to help them navigate the challenges of young adulthood, including family crises. Being a mentor has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. Of course, we often talk about mentoring in terms of its positive impact on young people, but what surprises so many people about mentoring is the emotional satisfaction and benefits that mentors gain in these relationships too. And as a member of Congress, I'm pleased to be able to continue mentoring young people through the Congressional Youth Cabinet my office established. We meet every month or so with high school students from across my district to discuss current government and policy issues, and I really benefit from their insights. As all of you know, the pandemic is having a devastating impact on young people's ability to make meaningful connections with trusted adults outside the home. Social distancing dramatically disrupts access to caring adults like teachers, counselors, faith-based leaders, and coaches, adults uniquely positioned to help young people process their experiences. So as we look to rebuild from the pandemic, we must invest in the meaningful mentoring relationships that we know have the power to re-engage young people and help them through this challenging time. I'm proud to lead that effort at the federal level with the Congressional Youth Mentoring Caucus, a great bipartisan group of members working on building sustained congressional support for legislation promoting the national mentoring movement. I want to thank the whole team at Mentor, and especially David Shapiro, Abby Evans, and Caden Fabi for their support to the caucus and their leadership in amplifying mentoring. And I want to thank Faith Wilcox, Heather Boyd, and Kendaya Kennedy, who've spearheaded our efforts for my office. I look forward to continuing to work alongside you to push forward legislation that promotes mentoring programs and celebrates the impact that mentoring has on our communities. Thank you so much.
Our final award is for Lifetime Achievement, which is given to an individual who has dedicated their life's work to supporting youth through mentoring. For 3 decades, Darrell Cobb has demonstrated profound dedication to supporting youth through opportunities and connections. It's been said about him that when other people scattered in a young person's life, Darrell showed up, mentoring at its core. Darrell's focus has been on ensuring the safety, permanency, and well-being of Franklin County, Ohio's most vulnerable youth as a caseworker, an emancipation worker, kinship care worker, and director of the Simba Mentoring Program, a culturally focused organization that matches Black boys involved with the child welfare system with Black male mentors. Darrell has also been a mentor with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Ohio, mentoring 3 young people over 25 years, and was named Mentor of the Year through the Central Ohio Mentoring Association. Even after the matches formally ended, Darrell's mentees continue to call on him for advice and support, and to celebrate successes that were sometimes only possible because he taught them to believe in themselves. When he is off the clock, Darrell is often still on, talking with families and stakeholders at events, sometimes answering phone calls at all hours, and putting his heart into every interaction and every engagement. Once Darrell signs up with a young person, the rule is this: win or lose, succeed or fail, he will be there because he believes in who they are and that their mistakes will not define them. Darrell, it is our great honor to recognize you with this Lifetime Achievement Award.
I am truly honored to be with you today. I'm extremely humbled by being nominated and receiving this prestigious award. I became a mentor to positively impact the lives of young boys. Because of sacrifices made for me, I feel obligated to make the same sacrifices for the generations to follow. Through the years, it is I who has gained the most. I must acknowledge the young men who allowed me to serve. Kenneth Stafford, Eli Williams, and Cameron Chin, who for the past 25 years, through Big Brothers Big Sisters, have each changed my life for the better. Thanks to the young men and volunteers with the Simba Mentoring Program for learning and growing with me. I also must thank the elders, nation builders, and young Simbas with Rescue Release Restore Inc. for showing and sharing so very much with me. The spirit of servant leadership was installed in me at an early age by my mother, Dorothy Cobb, and my father, the late Reverend Herschel Cobb. I also want to say thank you to my wife, Erica, for encouraging and supporting me in this endeavor, as well as my brother, Derek, for always keeping me accountable. This award is special to me because it is proof that hard work, honesty, loyalty, and being a transformative leader is essential components in life. I feel privileged to be included in this distinguished class of 2022 Excellence in Mentoring Award recipients. Last but not least, I must send a special shout out to my colleague, Elizabeth Crabtree, for thinking enough of me to make this nomination. Thank you, Mentor, for this award.
Thanks, Daryl. And I also want to thank our board team and everyone who makes this convening and the work of the movement possible. I have the privilege of closing us out. And I want to start by centering on these shining examples. From Daryl's ode to the village and legacy that's enabled his own extraordinary servant leadership, to Governor Lamont's comments about the very importance of these awards, of elevating connection at this time in our history, when it is so very central to our nation's health, unity, and vibrance. To Jamal's powerful reflection that knowing his mentees are watching helps him meet the highest standard. To Sana's courage in sharing her own trauma and the way mentoring efforts propelled her to create a platform for acceptance, belonging, and thriving. Congresswoman Scanlon's many roles in her life that have prioritized young people, and her partnership and effort to give the movement an important voice in Congress. And Stacy, who invited all to the movement by reflecting on paying it forward and creating a virtuous cycle of mentoring. We are in the virtual presence of folks who are both exceptional and yet at the same time represent so many, and what is possible when connection, commitment, and love are active. I want to congratulate our finalists, every nominee, and express our appreciation for every nominator who chose to elevate brilliant examples of our movement. They represent those that seek to weave our tapestry, to repair our fabric where it's torn, to find the heartbeat of our country, which lies in our ability to be seen, heard, be curious, and to continuously open our hearts and minds. They represent all of you from all 50 states, DC, Guam, Puerto Rico, not to mention 13 countries around the world. At a time of disruption, transition, loss, and change, they represent the opportunity for progress, innovation, and transformation. This may seem straightforward, but if we've learned anything from these last couple of years, it's that this is an active effort to reach out when it's easy to turn inward, to confront the complexity and opportunity for new voices, new realities, and to build new bridges. To turn toward when the loudest voices will call for division, fear, and create a convenient language of simplistic generalization of us versus them. To be in this movement is to be active, to lead with the belief that we confront our history to create a more equitable present and future, that the voices and experiences who have the most to teach us are also those who have the most at stake, and we must center on them to understand the issues we seek to make change in. That we must stand up for the multitudes of identities that make up our nation's promise, and that our greatest skill lies in our abilities to create a welcoming table, an inclusive one, where all have a voice, a stake, a contribution, the power, and the opportunity, and that we are made whole by one another. And where stubborn historic obstacles to thriving, flexibility, agency, and connection are removed. One of the ways we do that is by celebrating and elevating and being inspired by one another as we also keep learning, pushing, advocating, and looking to the road left to travel and the choices we must make. That is the essence of this summit. that if we travel the road together for and with our young people, we will soar ahead of the divisive cynics and false choices, stare down our biggest challenges, and be guided to better days. It is happening all around us, even though it may not capture headlines, clicks, and shares at the rate we might like. That is the importance of these awards. It is our covenant to keep lifting each other up, lifting up the examples of the diversity, solidarity, and possibility of this movement, and inviting others to join us on the march to connection and opportunity for all. Thank you for all you do to provide those examples, to keep marching and to find new roads, to new destinations, and new folks to join this movement in our journey forward. Thank you.